Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. It is 5:30 a.m. I have a flight to catch this morning to go visit my family in upstate New York. So we're just getting it in, we're getting it done. I'm more of a morning person though, but that's not entirely true. I'm up in the morning. I like mornings, but I don't want to be talked to in the morning, and I need a lot of coffee before I want to be nice to anyone. So we're going to see how this episode goes. Today's episode, though, is really important. If you are someone who you get stuck or you feel stuck, whether in business, in life, in relationships, in dating, with your health, it doesn't really matter in any area. If you find yourself feeling like it's hard to create the success you want, feeling like it's really hard to just feel good, you don't know how other people seem to have all this fast momentum and they seem really confident and they seem really happy all the time and everything just seems to work out for them while you're feeling a little dysregulated, like you're not getting momentum, you have a lot of resistance, you're very stuck. This episode needs to be taken seriously. Don't just listen to it once. Listen to it a couple times. Get it in, get your listening in, because you're going to want to take notes on this. I find that whenever my client can switch from the stuck energy that I'm about to talk about into the other side, that's when they really start to see a lot of momentum. It just feels like everything's clicking, everything's falling into place. Holy shit, so much has changed in such little time. It's because of this. The concept we're talking about today is reactors versus creators. So in the world, if we just sum it all up, there are people who are reactors and there are people who are creators. There are far, far, far more reactors than there are creators. And reactors are people who very easily respond to their 3D reality. They very easily respond to external circumstances and what's going on in their current reality. And they're very easily triggered. They're very easily set off and they shift their emotional state based on their external world. And when I say triggered, I don't have to mean like, oh, you go off the rails or you're super, super depressed or traumatic. It's not that. It's just that you are constantly responding to your external world. That's probably a better word for it. You are constantly responding and shifting your emotional state and your thoughts based on what's happening in the external world. Your external world, if you are a reactor, dictates your internal reality, your internal world. And a lot of people, we're going to get into this, but I want to say this. A lot of people don't want to admit that they're reactors, but then when I get into some of these concepts, and I talk about this in Audacious and I talk about it in one of the courses inside of Unlimited too, they start to be like, oh shit, I am a reactor. Like, fuck, I gotta change that. And so that's totally okay. So be brave, admit if you got this going on. It's not a problem. It doesn't make you bad. It just makes you human. And it's actually pretty easy to shift out of this and shift into a creator. And I want to say too, people constantly shift from reactors to creators in their life. It's not like you're just fixed. But okay. So reactors have their external world really dictate their internal world. They're constantly responding to things in front of them that are going on. Creators, on the other hand, are much more intentional humans. Their emotional state is controlled by them. Their internal world is dictated by themselves rather than the external world. They are very in control, therefore, of their emotional state. They're really managing their emotions, and we're going to get into some more of that. But this is very typical for people. Just in the span of 30 minutes, in the morning too, in the morning, you might, wake up regulated and feel good, have a good day, but then get stuck in traffic that you're a little mad about. And then you go into the office and spill coffee on your new white shirt, and then you don't have a Tide stick. And then you open up social media and start comparing yourself, and now you feel triggered that so-and-so got to go to Europe this summer and you still aren't making the money to do that. Or your boyfriend just sent you a text that you misinterpreted and now you're upset at him. And to top it off, your boss just called you in to a last-minute meeting and now you're freaking out about whatever that is. All in 30 minutes. All in 30 minutes. I don't know why my example is a corporate woman. A lot of you are probably entrepreneurs, but you get the gist. What I see happen way more often, though, with entrepreneurs is you wake up, you scroll and check your notifications way more than you want to. You end up spending way more time on your phone than you want to, and then you feel behind. You take that behind energy throughout your day, and then that behind energy kind of sets you into the, well, I'm not making enough. And then you put off showing up on social media and showing up for your business like you want, and you don't really want to respond to your clients, but you know you have to, and it goes on and on. You're dysregulated. And when you are doing that, when you're dysregulated like that, when you're responding like that, you're being a reactor. And when you can get into that state where you're just a little off now, you're now less powerful. You are less tapped into your power, and you're not as tapped in to your ability to create, to manifest, to attract, and to operate in this very competent state because your nervous system is just a little out of whack now. Now it just thinks it's out here trying to survive because you let yourself respond to the 3D reality. You let yourself respond to the things going on around you. And in my membership in Audacious, one of the pillars of becoming a confident person that we really talk about in there, because it's just my formula for becoming confident, you can't keep responding to the old shit. You can't keep being the same person. You can't keep telling yourself the old stories. You cannot keep letting your world dictate who you are, because that's usually how people get underconfident, how they struggle with self-belief and confidence and not showing up with this unwavering kind of like badass energy, because they're constantly being a reactor. You can't keep doing that. If you are regularly overwhelmed, you're overthinking, you've got this emotional roller coaster going on, you are mildly to extremely triggered or reacting. And again, small might be someone posts something and it changes your emotional state. Too large is maybe you've gotten yourself in this self-doubt spiral and you've spent the last few hours freaking out and crying. So things like that. If you experience a lot of anxiety, you're frustrated, you're reactive to people to life in your life, you are a reactor. That's what's going on. And I always like to call this out where a lot of people will say like, well, I'm just an anxious person. No, that's not actually your God-given state. You are not an anxious person. You have normalized being a reactor. You have normalized experiencing anxiety for so long that you've made it a part of your personality. That's just being dysregulated. You're being a reactor. And this is coming from someone who does deal with depression and anxiety and ADHD and all things, but I don't let myself continually respond to things like that because I know when you're being a reactor, you're not operating in your power, and you are powerful. Reactors are they're not tapped into their full power, and you can be. You can be. And reactors are also not creating as abundant and rich and happy and healthy lives as they could be. That's just the truth. Because when you're a reactor, you're not in your power. Therefore, you're not showing up as potently as you could be in your business, and you're not as rich as you could be. When you're a reactor, when you see something, again, I'm just going to keep using the example of on social media and you're comparing, you're not as happy as you could be. When you're a reactor and something sets you off in your emotional state, you're more likely to not go to the gym, to not get your steps in because you're too anxious. You're going to pick up the emotional eating snack, which trust me, I've done all these things. So you're not as healthy as you could be. Like reactors are not living their best lives. And again, I just want to clarify for everyone, I have been a reactor. I've had seasons of life, years of my life where I was just pure reactor. There was no creator existing in there. In the year before I started my business is really when I flipped the switch and decided I was going to be a creator. And it's no surprise that I got out of toxic relationships. I got out of a toxic corporate job. I started a multiple six-figure business. I moved. I lived a very rich life. I made way more money. I travel the world now. Like, it's because I became a creator. And as a reactor, I've experienced chronic panic attacks. I have been a very reactive person to my loved ones. I'd absolutely spiral with negativity and doubt and complete shame that I wasn't good enough. And it was just being a chronic reactor and lacking the emotional intelligence to really manage and control my emotions. That's what was happening. I was constantly responding to everything around me. And reactors, not only are they responding to everything that's going on in their current reality, but they usually pair it with a lot of self-doubt. They usually pair it with fabricated stories and meanings around why it's happening and why they're not able to create what they want, when really it's just because you're reacting. When you're not in control of how you're responding to everything, You're going to be dysregulated, and that's going to affect your emotional state. And when we are not in control of our emotions and our emotions run us, what happens is we manifest more of that emotional state that we're in. Inside of Unlimited, there's new courses in there. We have 5 courses in there, and one of them is called Relentless. And Relentless is all about learning how to become a woman who keeps her word to herself, has complete self-respect, takes her desires seriously, never again pulls back on her dreams. Like, it's really operating on a higher level, a higher caliber of person, and being relentless and creating what you want. We really talk about being able and being someone who can tolerate discomfort, because that's growth. We talk about nervous system regulation, emotional intelligence, really upping your self-respect, really upping the self-belief, the self-worth, how honest you are, keeping your word to yourself, stop fearing delusion, and entering kind of the energy of someone who literally never quits, who's relentless, who just has this aura of complete confidence and makes shit happen for herself. And in there, we always are talking about how you got to manage your emotional state. Like, it really is part of Relentless is really teaching you how to actually be a creator and stay in a creator, because it's very hard to relentlessly create what you want, go all in, have a life where you get to have it all when our emotions are running us. We need to run our emotions. And I want to be really clear too. I want to be so clear. It's okay if you're an emotional person. It's okay if you got a flair for the drama. I certainly do. I certainly do. There's a difference. It's really okay if you're an emotional person. That's not a problem. There's a difference between experiencing a big range of emotions, being a person who feels deeply, being a person who's very in touch with how they feel, versus letting your emotions dictate what gets to happen in your life and what you're capable of. Strong difference. So if you're someone sitting here where you're like, well, I'm just an emotional person, because I have heard that a lot from women, not a problem. Cool. You stay that way. That's a beautiful, beautiful skill. But that is not the same as letting your emotions dictate you. The version of who you want to be, that girl's a creator. She is a strong, confident, capable creator. That's what she is. And I have worked with so many incredible people. I feel like I get to work with the coolest people in the whole wide world. And usually what they want is to know what it feels like to truly be on their own team, to bank on themselves, to feel really confident and just know how to exist there permanently. They want to feel magnetic. They want to feel like they're just this ray of sunshine who is able to attract what she wants with high self-belief. They want to feel powerful. They want to make really big impact, and with that power, earn with that power, exude that power. And they want to feel calm, regulated, fulfilled, live these very rich lives, whether that be owning a house in their 20s, being self-made, traveling the world, financial security, or just honestly living a very comfortable life with their family and just having everything they want. That's what they all want. And the version of yourself who easily creates those things, who does so without resistance, who does so without being dysregulated, who does so without experiencing all this doubt, and who can do it really fast and with a lot of ease, is a creator. You got to be a creator. And if you're sitting here and you're like, I don't know how to do that, get in an offer, any offer. Get in Unlimited if you want the coaching. If you want to be coached for 6 to 12 months by me, where I talk to you every single beautiful day and get you literally to the levels of unrealistic success you want, go in there. Get an Audacious if you're like, you know what, I just want to put you in my headphones all day long. I want to have these addictingly potent videos that I can listen to every day. Then grab my confidence formula. Grab one of the courses I have. It doesn't matter, but don't stay a reactor. Become a creator, because that is where you create what you want. It is a version of you who is completely regulated, manages their emotions, is not reactive to their current reality and constantly responding to every little thing that's put in front of their eyes, and lets the strength of their self-belief and self-trust dictate how they feel more than what's going on in their external world. That's being a creator, where you are more powerful than your environment. A perfect example just coming up, because I really want to lock this in, is especially in business. Ooh, this would change your income. If you are someone who you need external validation, or you like it, or you kind of rely on it a little bit, you get a little shaky when people don't respond, when you're not getting inquiries, when you don't get the engagement that you want, when, just you're not receiving the results quite yet. If you are constantly and frequently feeling like, okay, then I must be doing something wrong, or people don't want to work with me, or I'm never going to get to the, 30K months that I want. And really just thinking that something's wrong. Like you're constantly responding to those things. You are engaging with those things. You're a little reactive to those things. You are being a reactor, and creators, on the other hand, they're unfazed by that. You want to know how girls have fast momentum, how they're succeeding fast? They're not responding to those things. They are just seeing them because they're happening to them too. Trust me. I have made multiple six figures every single year, and I still have periods like that. I'm just not responding because my belief is higher, because my self-trust is higher. I can see all that and be like, it's no big deal. I'm going to create what I want anyway. I got this. I'm good. I'm just going to problem solve if there's a problem. But most of the time, people can't tell the difference between an actual problem and they're just uncomfortable. So many people react to discomfort and get stuck and create resistance, where creators, they know it's not a problem. They just got to keep going. They're just going to decide how they want to feel and lean on their self-belief anyway. So you got to be a creator. That's the key here. And to do that, I'm going to outline a couple things you can work on. The first thing is up your self-belief. When you don't have the foundational self-belief, what will happen is that many things in life will get interpreted as reasons why things aren't working out in your favor. Your social media engagement is low. You didn't get an inquiry. The scale hasn't changed when you've been working out so much. You haven't gotten any exciting matches on dating apps. Your bank account went down. Self-belief would shift you out of that. The second thing is learn how to better manage your emotions and regulate your nervous system. Inside of Audacious, a huge part of what I teach is exactly how to better manage your emotions, to shift your self-talk. There's so many tools inside to help you actually regulate. And when you're a reactor, it's often because you're existing with that chronic dysregulation. Remember what I said about, being an anxious person? You're chronically dysregulated and you don't even know it because you're just used to it. Being overwhelmed, anxious, overthinking, frustrated, exhausted should not be your norm. You're young, you're beautiful, you're intelligent and amazing, and you deserve to actually exist that way. So your subconscious and your nervous system are likely setting you up to be a reactor, and you've got to shift out of that using subconscious and nervous system regulation tools. The third thing is really shifting your self-talk. Your self-talk exists on a frequency. You will manifest the frequency of what you are operating on. So if you are talking to yourself like, I just don't really know if I can do this, then you're just going to exist in a state where you don't really know if you can do it. That's going to be the norm. When you're in a low frequency, or typically running on a little bit more of self-doubt, wavering energy, second guessing, imposter syndrome, worry, you're just going to create more of that, which sets you up to continue being a reactor. You've got to shift your self-talk into a higher frequency. And when I say self-talk, I define this in Audacious, but I really mean it's how you perceive the world and speak about the world and yourself. It's not just the only way that you speak about yourself. It's really your perception of everything. When you shift your self-talk into a higher frequency, it becomes second nature to be a creator. Higher frequencies are just creators. And that's also something we have a whole module on inside of Audacious. So you have it in you. Those are 3 things I would work on, but you have it in you. You have it in you to be wildly successful. You have it in you to be magnetic. If the desire is there, if the desire is for you to have it all, to be magnetic, to be a woman who just really creates what she wants, no problem, with ease. She gets to live the life that she wants. She has the money she wants. She has the relationships, the body, the friendships, the quality of life, the bank accounts. If that desire is there, then those things are available to you. That's just facts. You can't argue with that. If you have the desire, it's there for a reason. But it's your job to go create it. You've got to go create it. If you are someone who you're like, I'm done being a reactor, I want to make things happen faster, come join Audacious or Unlimited. Audacious is amazing for people who you just want to pop in headphones. You want to have these really good videos where you shift your frequency, you become a creator, you become confident all on your own. You don't really need to talk to me. We have a community with daily Q&A. You can ask me daily questions, and we have a monthly call and you just listen to these tracks every single day. People love them. They're obsessed with them. It just becomes like their new podcast, their new Netflix. It's such a good energy. So that's Audacious. Or come join Unlimited, where we go really deep. We coach every single day. We have a very intimate relationship, and you have the best community in the world, where we have weekly coaching calls. We talk and coach every single day. You have my 5 different courses in there, including Audacious, to really help you become audaciously confident and create unrealistic success. You get to do the wild things my clients do, things like pay off $80,000 of debt, move to Thailand, move to the UK and get engaged, right? Best-selling books. Like, they do crazy things, the things that they thought were so unrealistic. So it is your job to become a creator. Come join any of the courses, come join anything of mine, and we will help you go from a reactor to a creator, from someone who is stuck and feels like success is hard and they face a lot of resistance and they're doubtful, depressed, really in this dysregulated energy, to someone who creates it, creates what they want, and your dreams become a reality. Make sure to listen to this episode more than once. There's so much in here and I want you to get it all. And so keep on listening, listen over and over again. We'd love if you shared on socials. And if you want more of a taste of things, we have 3 free trainings. Right now, you can go to the show notes, all around how to be a more relentless person. How do you become someone who gets out of the doubt, the dysregulation, and really becomes the girl who creates it all, who gets to have it all, who is so relentless, who has such a locked in mentality, who is so confident that it is inevitable that you create what you want. Those are the 3 free trainings. You can snag them. I'm doing them live in July if you snag this in time. And I cannot wait to have you listen and just completely change your life. I'll catch you guys in the next episode.